All right, today we're taking a look at Art the Clown from Terrifier, made by Trick or Treat Studios, the same company that also makes the Halloween Michael Myers 1978 version, the original. They also make 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and the 2018. I might be missing. Why did I say part 3? You guys know what I mean. 2, 4, 5, and 6 maybe, and 2018. And I think they're doing a Halloween Kills, but anyhow. So Trick or Treat Studios just released Art Clown in clean with a little bit of blood splatter, but also a bloodied version. I went with the clean because I did not like the blood splatter on the clothing. And Big Bad Toy Store is where I got him from, and it's only $4 shipping, as opposed to, I think some places are like 15 to 20 to 25. I think Trick or Treat Studios themselves, it's like 15 or 20 bucks or 22 bucks, something like that. All I remember is the price for me was like, no way, I'll just wait for Big Bad Toy Store. Anyhow, it was like a whole NECA figure just for shipping it. Anyway, so Art the Clown looks great with the horror icons. You might not consider him a horror icon, but it's just a nice way to say it. I mean, here's the 1/6 scale, fan favorite horror characters, and he looks great in the lineup. Now, this is the only way you can get an Art the Clown figure in 1/6 scale, in any scale for that matter, currently, unless you pay a customizer a ton of money to do it. This is not a ton of money. Compared to these guys, he's half the price, and I will say you're getting half the quality. He still looks great. I think the most important part is the outfit passable at a glance, and is the head sculpt fantastic for staring, because that's what draws you in, the head sculpt. The outfit is going to be at a glance, yada, yada, yada. In hand, and this is where I want to take a look at Ghostface before we move them off to the side just to demonstrate. Ghostface is, I think he is about $100 more than Art Clown. However, you get that $100 in the quality alone in the clothing. I do want to find a way to get maybe a custom head for this body that's a little more my flavor from the movie Scream, more representative of Scream, because I feel like his mouth is a little too long. There's just something there, the face, it doesn't quite, pop for the Scream Ghostface, but that's a conversation for another day. His outfit is what I'm talking about. He has, you don't even need it. They could have done these cheapo pants underneath. Maybe they even are on the cheap side, but they feel like fantastic quality. And then his robe is what I love the most. It has some weight to it. It's got some drop to it. It hangs, and it really conforms to the body. And I think it's a fantastic touch. His gloves, hand sculpting on the gloves is great. Again, you're still only getting the same amount of accessories, whether you're going for something this price and this quality or this price, whereas he came with 2 knives, 1 bloody, 1 clean, and then a few pairs of hands, and he's got cool alternate hands. Same thing for Art the Clown. Let me move some of the horror characters over, and we'll take a look at the accessories. Now, Art comes with the saw here, the hand to hold the saw. He kind of comes with an open, expressive hand on the left. He's got an open, expressive on the right. And then covered in blood, which is great. I think that part is great, even though he's not drenched in blood. And then he's got a hand that actually comes with an attached scalpel, which is fantastic. I know they have smaller figures where it's separate, but this is still cool that it's attached so you don't lose it. And obviously you're going to have a hand like this. Maybe you're not ever going to use the hand without the scalpel, so why not come attached? And that's it. So you get the one head sculpt. You get, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 different hands. I had to take a minute. His ankles suck. It's like the worst aspect of him. His ankles, the clothing is thin and kind of feels cheap. And then the the paint job on his face is hit or miss in a couple areas. One is the dot on the nose. A lot of people are getting it off to the side, too far to the side. Mine is a tiny bit to the side, but I'm happy with it. I'm going to fix it, but I'm happy with it. I'm going to fix it because I'm going to do a different repaint where he's totally clean, and I may even end up doing a bloody version after that. But I do want to do a totally clean. I'm debating whether I need two arts, but I think I might do a clean and a bloody. But I am going to go in here and dirty up this outfit. The outfit itself is far too clean. Art looks cooler when he's nasty. Some old dried blood, some dirt, some dust, some grime. So you'll see a future video when I rough him up some. But this is what he gets. 4 hands, 2 weapons kind of, I guess. It comes in the hand. And no trash bag. Now that's one thing I wish would have kind of set this little over the top, and maybe they were at a max for their budget. But a simple trash bag, maybe it's not a big deal, because this is super easy to make. You cut a square out of a trash bag. I use the edge of the counter where I paint, and I smoothed it down with a ruler, pinching the trash bag and the edge here, and I just burnt the edge, put some heat to it, and created a seal. Really, cheaply, easily rigged way, if you know what I'm saying, to go ahead and create burn here, and then turn it inside out, and there you go. You have your trash bag. I use dollar store, so it is super thin. You know, the cheap, crappy trash bags, and it's super thin. And this way, for the scale, it has a lot more flexibility, because originally I used heavy-duty thick one that you have, maybe that you actually use for trash, and it's weird. It's not weird, but it's really firm, so it kind of just plunks there. But I wanted something that was a little more, I don't know. For me, it looked better, if I make any sense. What you have to do is kind of pinch it to his body, because he doesn't come with a hand, and that's the only other thing. If you were going to give him a trash bag accessory, he needs a hand in order to hold it. And that's something that's going to be the hardest part, to get a hand. It's not going to be so difficult, especially since he's going to be grabbing it. So get a hand, and you're going to sculpt on some gloves. Actually, that's not going to be difficult at all, now that I'm thinking about the process. But so here, some of the cons. Obviously, the pros, you see he looks great. As Art the Clown, this is the only way you can get this character. And he's a 1/6 scale, which goes with all the other horror icons. So it's fantastic. His likeness is on point. I think the sculpt itself is almost right on the money. It's just like a hair off, but I think it is very, very impressive, the sculpt itself. The painting is where they lose it a bit. A lot of silly mistakes with that dot, but my eyes here are not so good. Not only are they just like black blobs with some gloss on them, which is fine. I don't know. I don't remember Art having complicated eyes. I'm cool with just the black dots. That's probably what he does have, But the way they float there, and they're positioned like he's looking up. So when he's on the shelf looking at you, it looks weird because he's just looking up all the time. It's a bit off. But here's let me pop his head off. Here's an up-close look at the Art sculpt. And the blood doesn't do it for me, so I'm going to cover it up. And that'll be an easy cover-up. You shouldn't have to touch. If you like everything else, you shouldn't have to mess with it. Like, I'm usually in the mood to strip everything and then repaint it fully. But on this guy, I'm going to easily just cover up. I'll go in there and remove some of the red, and then easily cover it up, and then remove the inner eye, touch it up, put new eyes in there, or paint new eyes in there, seal it with some gloss, and then touch up the outside, because I'm probably going to mess up some of that black, and then dirty up his outfit. And that leads to, but yeah, he's got a nice, it would, I get where they were going for keeping this as one clean sculpt, but because of art being very expressive, it would have been nice having more room to articulate his movements around the head. I went in here and dremeled out some of the plastic, and also got knocked down some of his chest. I left this pec on. It's going to be hard to see, but I noticed when I was testing his outfit to see how it hangs, if I can get it to hang a little more on his body, because right now it's really cheap and lightweight. I thought if there was a way to kind of weigh it down with some super watered down glue, dirty it up some, have it hanging down in some areas, add some weight to it. I don't know. I'm going to have to come up with a way. But in hand, I don't know if it shows on camera, but he's got a chest muscle here. And he doesn't here because I went in and shaved it down and dremeled it down. And when it hangs there, it'll look a lot better because he'll just have this skinny frame. So you don't need to do any of that, really. Any of it at all. You don't have to modify him whatsoever. You get him in a pose you want. You're going to fight with those ankles. I would recommend getting a stand and just being done with it. I'm going to put him in one of these plastic cases, so that's going to keep him propped up. Anyhow, and then the only other criticism I have for him is the sloppy paintwork on the hands. Now you can tell with this hand, what they did was, I don't know if it was on purpose or what, but they didn't even bother coloring his fingers. Not only flesh color, but like, for example, if he was a higher quality and a higher price, they would have painted flesh tone. Then they would have done a brushing of white paint like he was putting on his own white paint, and it would have been on his gloves as well. And then they would have added some blood on top. So then the transparent blood would pick up the white paint, the flesh tone. They did do that with this hand. Every hand is painted all the gloves, except this one single hand. For some reason, there is flesh tone there. Again, it's sloppily applied, but at least they tried. You know what I'm saying? And here's another little trick. I scraped out. You take a sharp X-Acto knife, make a cut, and then you scrape out, and that gives it a little more room to move. Just to show you when the hand is there. These, maybe this one will is a little bit better. No, maybe this one wouldn't be. When he's moving side to side, I kept running into this problem, and these hands come out super easy. So I was running into this problem where when I go to move his hand to articulate it, it's knocking into the side here, and it's not articulating at all. I mean, a little bit. Look at it's got a little bit. However, with what I was able to do here, because I got more room to work with here, you can push it down, and now his glove will go right over. And then when you push it up, his glove, see how the glove slides right over there? So he's got a lot more movement now. And all it took was carving out some of the insides. You could do a lot of mods like that. A lot of modifications, whether it's NECA. Now, for some reason, this hand, was it this one or the other one? Nah, this one is still a little stiff. But I don't mind this one because you can use the other articulation point like this. Maybe even have his wrist pop out a little. That'll be fine. Yeah. He's supposed to be really expressive, like a little shithead. Literally a little shithead. Yeah. So he poses well with what he's got. Get this down some. This is going to be another pain. There's a nice gold zipper. I'm going to stain that up with some brown wash. But nice gold zipper that works. You can unzip it. You can remove the body, replace the body with a better quality one if you want. I think this body is fine, again, except for the legs. But there's some easy fixes there. You can go ahead with some is it nail polish? Or it's something like that. There's a little trick they use. You can use some other methods to kind of add some friction there, so that way his ankles aren't so easy to just fall with the weight of the figure, because that's your problem when you go to stand him up. He's just all over the place because his ankles are super loose. Here's his boots though. They got the eyelets painted. He's got some nice little clown boots. I'm assuming, I didn't pay attention to his feet in the movie, but I'm assuming it's screen accurate. But they're dusted up and they look old. They look aged. So they did a great job with his boots. Here's his outfit. Again, see how it looks? It just looks kind of cheap. And it's super thin, so be careful with it. I could see a lot of people ripping some stitches, some of the sewing work. But it's the two colors, white and black. It'll be interesting adding some actual shit, you know, because Art the Clown wipes his shit like it's art. Anyhow, you can use some tricks to tack these down. That might be something you might be interested in doing for a display. But here's the hand with the scalpel. It's got some blood work on it. And again, for the price point, it's not bad. It would have been nice to, I don't know, then again, would it have been nice? I don't mind having to pay a smaller price for collectibles like this that are a little more easy to upgrade later on than, say, NECA. It's nice to buy NECA figures and have it all right there and maybe just touch up some certain things that you want to add to it. But some of these 1/6 scale figures, it's nice to just cop them now, and then down the road you can decide to upgrade maybe the outfit, the head sculpt, the different hands. You can make your own hand, you can buy custom hands, you can get different accessories like different weapons. And then here's his saw holding hand. Oh, and the saw, they did a real good job wherever I put that. The saw is a really lightweight plastic, so be careful because I can see this getting shattered easy. But it's got some tape on the handle and it looks nasty and dirty. There's no blood on it, which is a little bit odd. I thought of all things the saw would have blood on it, especially in the blood version, the selfie version. That has to be bloody because that wouldn't make any sense for the saw to not be bloody. But then again, I don't remember seeing it bloody. I think that's really pretty much it. I wasn't really rushing to get a review out because there's already a handful of reviews, but I thought since I did originally order him to review and I forgot about him, that's how I ended up getting him until I got the notification that he was in. I just wasn't paying attention. I figured we'll take a look at him and I'll give some of my thoughts and opinions. I think my final thoughts are pretty much it is awesome to have him with the collection of other horror icons. I'll show the box in a second. I don't think I showed that. If you were a type of collector to display the figure with or near or in front of the box art, he's got cool front box art that is similar to some of the promotional posters or DVD. I have a steel book with that same art on it. But so here's his box. But my final thoughts are it's awesome having him in figure form. And it's actually cool having one that you don't have to spend a ton of money on compared to some other collectibles. And then you could upgrade later if you want. You go ahead and upgrade a clenched hand, get your garbage bag, do some repaints, you know, pay someone else to fix your eyes or whatever you want to tweak. And those are small things. I can live with this for a while. I'm not in a rush. I do want to get those fixed, but I'm not even really in a rush to solve the outfit. The outfit for me is at the very minimal, but eventually I want to do something with it, whether get a custom or just something. Who knows though, I might dirty it up, and adding some dirt or whatever I can do to it might get it to hang a little better. And maybe it just won't. Because again, it's not like a cloth material. It's more like a it's more like a plastic. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? Jeez. Yeah, it's not a cloth. It's like a shiny, oh man, what's the word? It's not like a mesh, but it's stiff. It's thin and stiff, like, oh man, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. You guys will probably think of the word before I will, but other than that, add some accessories. Maybe get an accessory to display next to him, like a victim or something. And he's definitely pretty cool. I give him a recommend to add, but beware, he might not arrive shelf ready or perfect because of some of the issues you might have to tweak, like the crooked nose, the eye paint job, the hand paint job, if you're big into having it looking fantastic. There he is. Art the Clown from Trick or Treat Studios. And you'll have to get a stand or do something with the legs, unless it's just Mayan. His ankles are terrible. They fall down so easy, it's not even funny. But yeah, he's going to go with the other horror guys in their temporary spot next to my work desk, my home office. I dig them. All right, put your thoughts and opinions down below. I'm done talking, so it's your turn. Holy shit, 20 minutes? I gotta hurry up with these. I think I ramble too much.